The stakes have never been higher for strategy execution. The external rate of change for most companies is much faster than their natural operating pace. And that creates an execution gap between how fast you operate and the ambitions and the strategy you have. And there's a lot riding on the strategy. It's usually how you'll win and how much you'll grow. And to succeed in a fast-changing world, you can't just set strategy once and hope it plays out. You have to adapt it, mobilize people, and execute faster than ever before. What great execution takes, and what elite people leaders do, is just that. They adapt to change faster. They mobilize their organizations faster, and they execute faster. That means active alignment on changing priorities, not set and forget. It means fast follow through on the things that really matter most, which is distinguishing from those that don't matter at all. They understand that transparency is the ultimate accelerator, and they think strategically so they can raise their game and achieve more next year, the same resources they have this year. They get alignment, they drive results, they operate transparently, and they think strategically. The reality for most companies is most of their managers aren't elite or well-equipped to do those things. But your actual strategy execution is in the hands and the daily decisions of people managers across your organization. Their skill and their capacity gates your outcomes. And strategy execution breaks down not because they're stupid or for lack of intent or lack of effort, but from human limits in their speed, their skill, and their scale. Those execution gaps show up in ways I'm sure you've seen. Low alignment, because there's a disconnect between evolving company priorities and what people are actually doing and focusing on. Not enough clarity, which shows up as too many priorities. Slow execution, because you have slow or poor or even no follow through on what matters most. The tyranny of the day eclipses the strategic ambitions. You have low transparency, so you don't find those issues as quickly as you could, and you have cross-functional gaps that mean the sum of the parts don't add up to what you expect. To solve for that, there's often very expensive reporting cycles and meeting cycles to try to create that transparency, but it's usually with stale data and very labor intensive. And that creates a drain on resources and mind share. So instead of thinking strategically, you're reinforcing for your people managers that they need to be tactical and reactive to late surprises and execution breakdowns and excessive reporting cycles. So they don't have any time left, and they may not have the skills or have opportunity to develop them to think strategically. So the cycle just repeats itself every quarter and every year. WorkBoard's chief of staff and coach agents close that execution gap. And these agents don't just theorize and summarize. They literally prioritize and do the execution work you need to adapt quickly, mobilize people faster, and execute faster on your strategic ambitions. They don't replace their managers, but they give your managers the skills, the scale, and the speed to execute strategy fast and well in super dynamic conditions. Now, the work those agents do creates a new BAU, where your operating pace and capabilities match the market. They facilitate alignment, they accelerate results, they automate transparency, and they're partners in strategic thinking for people leaders across the organization. WorkBoardAI is a system of record for your strategy and goals, and the agents drive the execution of that strategy and elite performance. The agents make execution easy, but they do that in the complexity and the reality of your strategy, your org structure, the targets you've set, and the values and culture you're driving across your organization. And strategy execution is hard and is complex. The system of record understands the relationships, the nuances, what you're trying to accomplish when, what you've prioritized now, who's responsible for what, and who works for who. The agents work shoulder to shoulder with your managers, with your people leaders, making sure you have alignment, you're accelerating results, you're operating transparently, and everyone is thinking strategically. Let me show you what that looks like in the platform.